The phrase life-size cities is a way of communicating something more human on the urban landscapes. In a life-size neighborhood, you have a very low scale of buildings, so nothing is completely blown out of scale. I feel like I fit. I feel like the city fits me. For reasons I've never really been able to explain, Montreal was one of the cities on my global wish list that I never actually made it to. But this inspiring capital has now become, in so many ways, my home away from home.
Merci.
One of the things that I remember well every time I come to Montreal is this monolith. It's like a transportation museum, this huge expressway that was built, I don't know, in the 1950s, 1960s, in the age where this was the modern thing to do. And now you look at it and you say, why?
Perhaps I'm being a little harsh, and perhaps I'm known for saying it like it is. But that's what I do, studying the urban landscape and proposing ways to make cities more livable. And that's just what Montreal is, a very people-friendly city.
You do this every morning?
I do, up until the snow.
We often pat ourselves on the back a lot for being, the most cycle-friendly city in North America. But once we start comparing ourselves to the rest of the world, how do we follow up?
Shay is at the forefront of the bicycle revolution here. He's an anthropologist with a bike shop, and he's traveled the world, but it was Montreal that grabbed hold of him and made him want to stay.
We now have over 650 kilometers of cycle lanes. Each year we're going to add 50. But this is including both separated lanes by concrete and also paint.
When you see a bike lane on the left side of parked cars between moving traffic and the door zone.
If you're going to give yourself 3 feet of space for a car door to open, you're going to be riding right on the outside line of paint, which puts you pretty much in traffic.
Despite a collective conscious or subconscious desire for change, it often takes just one person in one neighborhood to step boldly into the future and make change happen.
We deturned a part of the buses, the route. We've taken out one side of the street. You have a restaurant, you have a church, you have a school, and a subway station. And all this should have formed a core of a village, but it was not, because you had so many cars. You had about 10 taxi stations. It was a totally anonymous place.
Montreal's problem is we've got about a 20 or 30-year transit deficit. We haven't been keeping up with population growth. We've only built 3 new metro stations since about the 1990s.
And since we've been speaking today, I think Shanghai opened about 400 new metro stations.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Every year, they just only spend about 65% of the potential money for public transportation.
So money's allocated to public transit.
But it's not being spent.
And they just keep it.
The money's there.
Right.
We have some of the highest transit use in North America after Mexico City. We're even ahead of New York in terms of the number of unlinked trips that people take. People get it here. The thing is, the city, the administration, our politicians just haven't kept up.
I see cities as organic creatures, morphing their shape and size over time, adapting to the needs of the citizens who choose to call them home.
People want to get across these tracks so badly. They cut holes in the fence quite often. The CP will come, often within the same day, and fix up these holes. It's a real back and forth. There's a Facebook group, actually, that we set up to identify where the holes were at any given time.
Oh, there's a truck coming. Cool, can I get fined?
Oh, yes, you can.
He's on his Facebook group now.
Yeah. This is where we figure people want to cross.
These are desire
people
lines.
plans,
This is urban democracy.
Yes,
this is people saying, I need to go there, and somebody will follow them, and they will create the desire line from A to B. Wow, cities are beehives of not only activity, but of thought. I've met some amazing people here in Montreal. Modern urban heroes, perhaps, but they are people who are just thinking differently about the modern city, about how to make a more life-size city.